Come in.
Hi, I'm looking for Gary.
Right here.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Novak. I'm with Gardner.
Nice to see you. Call me Jerry, please.
Jerry,
Yeah,
all right.
have a seat.
Perfect. I'll go ahead and get you the store here.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good.
I understand that Shannon set up a meeting with Gary for 20 minutes, and you are Jerry.
I am.
Okay. So
But I'm the guy in charge here, so no problem. And 20 minutes is exactly right.
Perfect. Well, hi, Jerry. What is your position here?
I'm the CIO.
CIO. Okay. Well, perfect. So I did a little bit of research before I got in here today, and I noticed that you had just, or not you, but your company, Arkland, had just brought on Gary 3 months ago. Did that sound about right?
Yep. And things are going pretty well. It's still all new, still trying to figure out what's going on, but so far so good.
Well, good. I remember when I was back in college, I kind of was reminiscing about a job that I had just started, and I worked with the FSU Sales Institute.
Okay.
And I was a data analyst, and I was thinking exactly the same thing you were. What does that mean? I was in charge of running all these big calculations and running data that I really had no idea what to do with, and I felt exactly like this, a fish out of water.
Got it.
So what I did was I went back to the person who held the position before me and gathered information to ultimately come out on top. And that's kind of what I was here to talk about with Gary about today.
Were they willing to share their experiences and stories, or were they kind of keeping it close to the vest?
They were so graceful to share their experiences with me and, like I said, have me come out on top and learn that role. And that's what I came here to talk about with Gary today, was sit with him and talk about these areas that we see VP of Technologies focus in on.
Okay.
And if that's okay, I'd like to help you guys jump back into the water here and see what we can do to maybe partner up towards the end of the meeting.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, the whole reason I was hired in the first place is I think we have fallen behind technologically. And so I'm here to make it better and be sure that we stay competitive in our very fierce marketplace.
I understand. Well, before we get started, I do want to give you my information before we go any further, so that you have my information. Do you have any chance to have one for me as well?
Sure, here you go.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. So do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Fire away.
Okay, Jerry. So as I understand it, Gary in his position would most likely be in charge of implementing new technologies into the company. Is that correct?
It is. I mean, ultimately, it's my responsibility as a CIO. I've got 3 direct reports, and each of them kind of handle a different discipline for me. And of course, they have a team underneath them as well.
Okay. So you have 3 people in place that would help pass along any kind of partnerships that the IT department might want to do?
Yep.
Okay. What do those tiers look like? So there's you, Gary.
So I mean, I'm the sort of the visionary guy, the guy that has sort of the the throat to choke, if you will.
Sure.
And then I have one person looks after inventory, one person looks after order entry, and another person looks after accounting from a systems standpoint.
I see. Okay. And when you're bringing on a partnership, what do you all look for? Especially you. What do you look for?
I mean, I need someone that's easy to do business with. I need somebody who is reliable. And I want to do a good job in my new role. So I want to be sure that I'm making the right decisions and things are moving along.
Sure. So I guess I didn't ask you about your position. You said you're new here to this position as well?
Yep, just moved from California here to Georgia.
Oh, wow.
And so they put me in as the CIO. I guess technically it's the VP of Information Technology, but I like to refer to myself as a CIO. So here I am, fairly new to Arkland, and really glad to be here.
Sure, certainly. So you and Jerry kind of work together to form the kind of the route that y'all will be taking with the technology.
And we try to collaborate inside our team to just get the job done.
Certainly. Okay. Well, to move forward a little bit here, can you tell me a little bit more about the people that work underneath you? What's that IT staff looking like?
Sure. Right. So I have a networking guy, I have an application management guy, and an operations guy. They are sort of my leads. And one of them has 4 people working underneath them. One has a team of 2, and then another has a team of 6.
Certainly.
So there's 16 of us total in my department.
Okay. And what's the annual budget that that you're working with?
Never enough, right? You know, we always feel like we're strapped and have to be lean and mean in all that we do. We'd love to have an unlimited budget, but you know, we have a little bit of money to play with.
Okay. What's that ballpark range?
750.
750
Thousand.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so with that budget, because you and Gary just jumped into this position 3 months ago, have you brought on any projects? Are you working any, or
Well,
what's
drinking
going
through a fire hose right now, trying to kind of assess where exactly are we. And one of the things I'm trying to tackle first is this MRP system or lack thereof. We are not integrated at all. And so I really got to sort that out. I mean, without a doubt, the left hand here doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and it's costing us a lot of business.
So left and right, I'm referring to you and Gary.
Well, no, I mean, we're communicating perfectly fine, but for instance, my inventory can't talk to my orders can't talk to my credit people, right? There's not enough integration, I don't think, so everything seems to be a separate activity.
Okay, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll touch back on that
Okay.
in a little bit, okay? So you said you're looking for a new MRP program.
Mm-hmm.
What's that budget looking like for this out of the 750?
Well, I mean, that's all I have to play with, right? So obviously I'd like to be sure I have some money left over to do some other interesting projects, but I'm not quite sure how much of that amount, the MRP project, I'm not sure how much will tie up the 750 that we have to play with.
But that's the number one priority, is getting that new.
Yeah, I think that's probably my biggest concern right now.
Okay, so would it be helpful to maybe see prices of different MRP programs all lined up in a row for you and Gary to make that decision?
It would. I mean, there's just so much information out there, and as I try to assess it, some things seem to even contradict one another, and to be honest, it can be confusing.
I understand completely. Well, we're talking a little bit about how you're doing that research. You said that you have a team in place for that?
I do.
Okay, and how are they going about conducting that research?
Well, I know they're working hard. I don't know if they're working smart. And of course, when I was out in California, I had a whole group of colleagues and peers and friends that we could have a drink on a weekend and just sort of talk shop. And I could lean on them for some of their stories and experiences. Being new here to Georgia, I've kind of lost a little bit of that.
That's what happens when we move to a new area.
Yeah.
I do understand that. I moved away to college. Like I said, I kind of jumped into a new position, jumped into a new college, and I really do feel you on that one.
Okay.
Because when you're in a new area, you just want to know what's going on and not feel like the fish out of water, right?
That's exactly right.
So I'm glad I'm here today.
Me too.
Great. So we've got that team. You're not sure if they're working that smart. You don't feel that tight bond with them like you did with your friends out in
Well, I'm
California.
so new and they're all working for me. I'm sure they're a little uncomfortable and they want to prove themselves as well.
Sure, that's a completely reasonable thing. So with that, what we're looking at that budget, and you said you're really not sure how much to allocate to the different for the rest of the year and how much to even put in for the MRP.
Yep.
Share a little bit more with me about how you and Gary are organizing.
But before we go there,
Sure.
I was watching the news this weekend and I could swear I heard something about your firm getting sued for something that was a little scandalous. I can't quite remember what the issue was, but what's going on? Are you guys burning some bridges and why are you finding yourself in the court of law?
Sure. Where did you hear this information?
It was a news program, local news program. I could swear I picked up something that was about your firm that was a little scary. Can you share with me what's going on there?
Well, I am glad you did bring that up. That was a local newspaper, as you said, and the owner of a restaurant that wasn't too happy with some research, he brought on a new technology system, and he didn't fully understand what he was bringing into his restaurant, and it kind of backfired onto us. But our guys are on it, and he's just an angry customer that we've got to extinguish and figure out maybe we did go wrong. But I will assure you that of what we're trying to handle, that has not happened to us before.
You're not going to make me an angry customer, are you?
I will certainly try my very best to not do that.
Okay.
You've got my information. You come directly to me if there's any kind of an issue, sir.
Okay.
Because I'm here to help you, and that's what we're here to do today. Okay.
Thank you.
Does that alleviate that concern that you had?
Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Maybe it was fake news.
You know,
Who
the
knows?
tabloids out there.
Right.
You know, honestly, you do never know.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you understanding.
Mhm.
So, like I said, we're talking about budget here. You've got 750, and you're not really sure how much to allocate to the MRP.
Right.
Have you and Gary gotten together and decided and talked out, line by line, how you might
We
want
have
to do
some
that?
disagreements there, right?
Okay.
And I guess that's one of the issues, right? I mean, there's so much information, there's so much going on. I mean, how to view yourself? How long has it even taken you to figure this stuff out, right? You're the expert in the field. How long has it taken you personally to get to that point?
For me to figure things out and communicate with others?
Well, in terms of just all this information landscape, right? It's a lot of information, and I'm just curious, right? If there's a lot overload that I'm feeling right now, I'm wondering how you're feeling.
There's a lot of information out there, like you said. There's Google, there's Yahoo, there's a million different things. And like I said before, I even do this in my position now with Gartner. I go to those who are above me or have worked there for a while, and I really do rely on those partnerships that I create with people to kind of rather confirm or learn from things that I've heard of.
Right.
So that's what I do personally.
Okay.
And I understand that you're working on a different level than I am. You're a CIO of a company, and other people are relying on you to make sure that all of the money and all of the time is spent wisely.
Correct.
So I understand that, and that's why I'm here today, is to further help you understand that, and hopefully, like I said, lead you to calmer water and get you back in.
I would like that.
Okay, perfect. So I understand that you and Gary are having some disagreements with that, and we'll be sure to touch on that later, okay? So finally, we talked a little bit about your transition from California to Georgia.
Yep.
And you're feeling kind of like the fish out of water.
Right.
You're not really sure, you want to have that stability of knowing that you're making the right decisions, and I'm sure Gary might be feeling that way as well.
Yeah.
And something that we offer is an executive partnership, and somebody who, again, like I did in my new position and in my old position, went and looked for that guidance with somebody who has had more experience. Is that something that your friends did for you back home, was just kind of
we sort of had that in terms of our network and circle of peers, and certainly I'm missing that here in Georgia.
Certainly, that's 100% reasonable.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to talk with you about here today is, we've talked a little bit about your transition from California to Georgia and you missing that link of that partnership and leaning on others. We talked about the budget, and you're not quite sure where you're going to be going with this.
I'm worried about getting ripped off too, right? I mean, I want to be sure I don't overspend.
Sure, that would not make the boss happy, right? So we'll make sure to review that. And finally, you said you've got the team in place to do the research, but that's another link that you said that the MRP is talking to the inventory, and they can barely talk to the creditors, and there's just those missing links. So I'd like to talk to you about how Gartner for CIOs can help in all of these areas. Would that be something you might be interested in?
Yeah, tell me about that.
Perfect. So I wanted to just relay to you a little bit background about Gartner. Gartner is the world-leading IT program, and we work with the top Fortune 500 companies. And with that, what that means for you is that you get to invest smarter, you get to save money, and you get to alleviate that risk. So really what Gartner is here to do is help you on all of these ends that we've been talking about.
Even though I'm not a Fortune 500 company, am I a big enough fish for your
You certainly
interest?
are. We have gathered information from all realms of the world, and we work with data that is adjusted to your size, your company, and that's where you're going to be getting all of that information that we're going to pull for you.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is open up my iPad here. And we talked a little bit about the research side of things. So you're looking for a new MRP program and you're gonna start wondering, you could show your team how to do this. You could get with that research team and you can build that bond with them.
Okay.
So these are screenshots for time's sake reasons. So
All right.
this is exactly what the Gartner.com page looks like.
Mhm.
And you see there's a lot of information out there, but since you're strictly looking for research, you would go ahead and click on that research tab. And what that would pull up for you is this Gartner for research. And there's 2 zones, but we're going to look at the research for methodologies. You'd go ahead and click more, and that would bring you to this page. This will give you a brief overview of all the methodologies that Gartner is going to be having available for you. And to further that, we would go ahead and click on the methodologies right there.
Okay.
But like I said, these are screenshots, so
Sure.
we're just going to swipe to the right.
Yep.
What this is going to do for you is it's going to show you ways that you are going to find that MRP program. It's going to show you the Magic Quadrant, the who. It's going to show you the Gartner critical capabilities, the what, and the Gartner hype cycle. That is the when. So the Gartner Magic Quadrant is basically going to help you qualify all of those companies and filter out. I know that being green is important to you guys.
It is.
You're able to go ahead and enter on all those filters, and it's going to show you the leaders of the MRP program, the niche players, and really all those top leading MRP programs that you might be interested in.
Will it show me the least expensive ones?
That it will.
Okay.
That it will. Well, that would also, if we were to go back to this page here, it's going to go to the Gartner critical capabilities. And that's really where it's going to show you that price, and it's going to further the top ones that you have selected. It's going to go further into those needs and values that's going to bring to you guys and have you really be able to understand which one to invest in.
Okay.
And finally, the when. When should I invest? Is it the right time? Is it a solid product for me? And that's when we're going to go to the Gartner hype cycle.
Mhm.
Basically what that's going to do is it's going to show you something that looks like this. It's going to take all, if you have top 3 MRPs and you don't know which one you still want to choose,
Yep.
This one's really going to show you the slope of enlightenment. That's the best time to invest in any kind of a product, because that's when it's gone through all of its ups and downs and it's on that steady curved slope.
Okay.
And one of the features that I love about Gartner is we also have this search tab. And what that's going to be able to do for you is, if you, it's like a Google search bar, except it's Gartner and all of our unbiased and thousands of research that we've done and is available to you through this program.
Okay.
And you're able to look up the MRP. Does that, do you see how that could add value?
It could save me some time. I could see that.
Sure. And secondly, we're going to look at the cost optimization. So you said that you and Gary are quite sure what you're doing with the budget and knowing line by line item.
Well, it's $750 to play with. Not quite sure how to allocate it, and want to be sure I don't find myself running out of money before the projects are completed.
I do understand that.
Mhm.
So what this is going to do for you is, it might be one of those, you said that you and your buddies like to go out, have a beer, and
Sure.
get the work done. Maybe that's a new bonding experience you and Gary could do. What you're going to be doing is going through a questionnaire. You guys could sit, have a beer, chill out, relax, and answer about the budgets that you guys want to work through, and from the past and from current. And we're going to work, Gartner will work and will send you the IT budget
Okay.
tool. And what that's going to do is it's going to show you what last year looked like to this year, and it's also going to show you what people in your industry, your size company are doing with their budgets.
Yeah.
And that's going to be able to show you, maybe you want to alleviate a little something and less and put more in another. Do you see how that may be able to help you and Gary?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that we'll find that a lot of my competitors are spending more in the IT world than we are, so we're a little strapped in terms of our budgetary opportunities.
Sure. And finally, we'd be able to give you an executive partner, somebody who's been qualified. He works for Gartner. He's a retired CIO, and he's going to be able to be there for you and answer any questions that you might need, and really be able to be there for you. Do you see how being able to have somebody that's able to be there for you and help you invest correctly and
Possibly.
would be able to help?
Maybe.
Well, perfect. So at this time, I really see so much value that we've talked about here today. We've talked about getting an executive partner. We've talked about you and Gary getting together and doing an IT budget. And finally, getting with your team, and you could even get with them and work with them about the research and having them really understand what it is you really want to be looking in with that research tab. I don't want to waste any more of your time or money. I want you to be able to sign up today with Gartner. Is that something that you might be interested in doing?
Well, we haven't told you what it costs yet, right?
There we go. There was that cost. I was waiting for that one.
Yep.
So I want you to think of it as kind of like a dad's plan, a cell phone plan.
Got it.
So you're the leader. You're the CIO. That is going to cost you $50,000. Thank you. All right. Oh, time.
Hey, Caitlin, you're with me.
Do I have to stop this?
No, they've got it.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
You gotta test every one of these things. Every single one of them. You run a test